Howdy there, folks. How's everybody doing? Please ignore the some sounds in the background. I have the fan on. Kinda hot here in Portugal. Heat wave, say. So today we're gonna do another raid build. This time I got a second flash for the event pass. I'm gonna try to do a very quick raid build. Two flashes and basically two or one weapon, all hit based. I have the idea to use two sparks and maybe two scaddies, but again, I don't know if I can do that due to energy costs. Because despite I don't need to use a radar because some cabins already have a built-in radar. The thing is, I always like to have a radar with me. It's easy to spot where the enemies are coming from. So, without delay, no, not this thing. Let's do another raid build. I think we still have one slot. Yeah, I'm getting a bit out of slots here. Lots of builds for raids, raiding wars, clan confrontation, and all kinds of stuff. I wish we got a lot more slots, because every time I want a slot is five blueprints. It's a bit expensive after a while. So let's do something. First I'm gonna do the base. Put some frames. And
Lunatics say you should spit on every part you place.
yeah, whatever. So let's try to put a cabin. Since I want max energy, I either have to use a light or a medium cabin. But since we're not using modules, or in this case, try to not use modules to get energy for other stuff, let's try a cabin that works well with different hit-based weapons. Where it is? Ah, here it is, the Yugin. So we get 32 energy. Not a lot. Let's see what you can put here. The first process I have on creating a build is putting a cabin, a generator, and trying to see how much stuff I can put on the car in terms of energy. In this case, it's very interesting, the shape of this cabin. Something like that. Okay. Some scaddies. And you're max out the energy. Thing is, these things are not very heavy. So let's see what kind of light cabins we can get. You can get a light cabin. If it's legendary, you can get more 2 energy points, enough to use a radar. The problem is, if you use a light cabin, it's gonna be a very light build, not very durable. Let's see here what you can work with. So Nox, no, not gonna snipe, not gonna maybe. Okay, higher limits. Yeah, still don't have these two. Despite I don't see the very need of a cabin like this, because if you have a regular raider like the Maxwell or even a Doppler, it's kind of redundant to the perk of this thing. Ah, but this one I want. To do some drone shenanigans. Like, for example, you have this, we are using, what it is? Oh, it's heavy. Okay, so we're gonna have to use, okay, this one's 24, 22. Okay, a medium cabin, if it's legendary, may work. Let's see what you can work in. This one doesn't work. Too big. Don't have. Not appropriated. Yeah, it's interesting, alright, but not what I wanted to do. But where it is? There it is. Do this, this. Okay, you can go there. And you go there. Like, I can only use these things on the top because the ones on the bottom, the corner, on the back, not bad. I don't have uses for them. Okay, I still get 2 energy. 2 energy is enough for a raider, but can we get a little bit more? Let's try to see on the tech tree. Let's clean this out. Right, this is easy to use. I must limit, nice tonnage. Beholder. Not gonna work with invisibility, you know. So, out of the question. Despite it's a very nice cabin because it's very little. Where it is, where it is, where it is. Might as well type it. Because as you can see, the master is kinda skinny, but while this one is very low.
What a nice balance of characteristics, this cabin.
So let's see what also you have here. No, because you got to leave the frontal square open to pass the shield. Well, this cabin. I want to like this cabin, but I don't feel like always be switching around the perk. It's kind of annoying to always do that. Okay, the other one is much more reload based weapons. In this case, we're not using them. So we either use a master or maybe a BWC. Despite the master is kinda speedy compared to the BWC. But BWC has a lot more durability and tonnage. So, but if you use a light cabin, what do we have? Like, the difference is 1 energy point. Let me try something here. BWC. Okay, now some tracks. Yes, I like tracks. You go there. No. You come here. You too. And let's see how the reload is. The reload now, the hit is. Yes.
Jumping today.
Let's try this out. Okay, so the scaddies go out first. While the scaddies are out, I still have the sparks. But the cooldown is very bad on this. So what can I do here? Oh, alright. Almost forgot about this. Yeah, I can choose tracks. Let me try something else. Will that affect this? Let's try these things. No, if they affect the perk of the cameo or not, but let's see. Yeah, they don't make any difference. The perk of the cabin. So I activated this. So supposedly this is should be quicker, but I'm not noticing. Oh, okay, this increases the damage. I thought it was a reload or the hit. So let me see something. Oh, okay. Yeah, again, the energy problem. This is increases the damage, but this increases the cooling. Or a reload, which one the case. So again, it's the energy thing. Don't get enough energy. So this cabin is basically useless. Too slow, and it's more for tanky builds. So let's see what we can use. It's either the master. 23. This is a master, or we are gonna use the omnibox. Long time I not chose this cabin. Have it, don't have it. So one or the other. Well, Tanaja can give it a whirl with more wheels or more tracks. Problem is the mass. Mass limit is always a problem. Let's go with the Omni. One time I don't build something with the Omnis. You go there, you go there.
If a human's body temperature drops below 20 degrees, they fall into a coma and die.
Yeah, problem is the weird shape of this. Get one now energy. Not gonna lie, it's a bit nerve-wracking. Wanted to do something a bit extreme and unable to do so. So we cannot do this two ways. Either I use a Scadi that gives very good damage, and a spark, or I switch the Scadis for where it is, a grenade launcher. Let's see what we have. Then energy, very low durability. Yeah, I ate red. The problem with heat-based weapons is that you always depend on either a cooler or a radiator. Maybe this works. Dang, it already still happened. So, Omnibox. I'm not confident on using an Omnibox for this. And the problem with using this cabin is that, like, it's only 2 points, 2 points of connection with the cabin. And we get 2 points of energy. Alright, so how can we do this? A kilo maybe? Let's see how it handles like this. The problem isn't the radiator, but the cooldown of it. The cooldown is very slow, but in this case it might work because when one weapon is in cooldown, the other one is still eating. So it might work out. Now let's see what you can build in this. Of course, you're not using this kind of builds. This build can go 75, 75, 75, 75. Yes, I'm gonna use drags because you can go the same speed forward or reverse. They are more stable. In this kind of tracks, as you can see, it decreases the durability of all the other tracks by 5%. So if I use the same kind of tracks, it's gonna be very good. The problem with this one is increase the protection of structural parts. So if I use 4 of these, it's gonna be a bit heavy, but 6 of these can be more acceptable, and this only goes 75. And if I put the one here, it can go 80.
The sound the vehicle makes just got so much better.
80, and the other ones do 80. 75 only. This does 85, so it's ideal. Also, I'm gonna do some ammo, the most famous Pandora, and we're all. Oh. Wait a minute, let me check something. It is. Gonna need a radio, since you don't have the radar. Gonna be big vacuum on the ready piece of allies. And we're gonna use the radar. So whenever you can use one of these. I remember there was a part that will give I think it was the visors. I remember other than the radio, there was a part to give you free insight on mines and other stuff. I don't recall if it was the radio or the visors. Because this thing only says where the enemies are. It's kind of weird, I remember there was a part for that. Oh, it's this thing. Mine detection. Yeah. But one energy that I don't have, so can't do anything about it. I wish sometimes the Maxwell was only one energy. So let's see what you can do here. It's gonna have to be a somewhat light build. And another problem that I'm gonna see here is the fact that this cabin, being very skinny, I really gonna get some contact points with all the frames. So let's try to do something about it. Where's the generator? Yes, some more or less of that. To forward. No. Okay. Okay, 4 up. 4 up might be maybe too much. Okay. So there's no contact bonds on the corners of this cage, and neither on one side, neither on the other. So I'm forced to use it like this. Kind of wonky it works, but okay. You're gonna use it. What other option do I have? And another issue. Right. Can't put the engine to connect with the power nodules. Doesn't connect this way, doesn't connect the other way. Turn around, doesn't connect, and doesn't connect again. How wonderful. Truly wonderful. So I can forget repairing the engine. Now, the back side. Not use it. Sometimes I hate these cabins, especially the cabins. So hard to work on.
If Richard Edgeworth knew what kind of vehicles you're slapping tracks onto, he might have reconsidered having 22 kids.
Just to see how it works. Yeah, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work at all. So this gives 24. I need to use this cabin. So annoying. So if I use this cabin, since it's a heavy cabin, it has the overheating mechanics, therefore I can make this work. So two weapons overheat. Two weapons overheat and cooldown is quicker. Okay, this might work. This actually might work. Two overheat, faster cooldown, and we're back in business. So I'm gonna do two iterations of this. One with this cabin and this weapon setup, and the other one I'm gonna still try to do a double spark, a double spark, and put a grenade launcher to see if I can push the max out of it. Because spark takes a long time to fire, but the problem is Scaddies go out really easy. And why Scaddies? Because of the perk. I really like the perk of the Scaddies. Yeah, they overheat very fast. Because sparks have two perks. First, the one that is the essence of the weapon is a cryogenic weapon. What that means? For example, if you put fire on something, it will burn down, obviously. But the fire itself doesn't have, how can I say it, like a perk. It's just burning stuff. That's it. But the cryo actually has a perk. When you put cryo damage on something, what that does is take out the resistance of the part. Let me explain. If you go here, for example, see in this part, I actually never use it. You see 25% damage hit resistance. It resistance is about shotguns, autocannons, basically bullet. Explosion resistance, basically some autocannons. Now autocannons, really autocannons are only explosive damage. Autocannons, cannons, grenade launchers, all kinds of explosive stuff. 10% damage damage resistance and 10% cryo resistance. What the cryo damage do? In this case, it does some damage, but since it has a resistance, does less damage. But for example, let's see another part. Oh, interesting. Let's see. Founder, those children part. Even more resistance, okay. For the founder part, 50% resistance. The syndicate part, 50%. I believe it's Hyperborea part, 50%. Okay, here it is. For example, this is, I believe, scavenger parts and walker parts and all of that. If you see this, you only have resistance to two kind of things. Either hit the resistance or explosive resistance. You don't have cryo resistance. What cryo does is take out the resistance of the parts. The more color it gets, the less resistance it has. Basically, these things are the better one at resisting those kind of damage. For example, energy resistance. There's very few parts that have that. Most of them are either heat or explosive. Some have the fire and the cryo resistance, but energy resistance is rare. That's why when I do some builds, I usually use mostly founder parts because they have the resistance to all kinds of damage. And for example, Ravager's parts. Where are they? The black ones. For example, these ones are resistant to almost everything except explosive damage. They're kinda cool and all to use these parts, but if you get shot by a cannon, you mostly gonna have a big hole on your build. So that's because why I like the cryogenic weapons. Because the cryo effect helps you take out the structural parts easily. And with the energy, the spark, well, you can basically deal damage in several parts at the same time, while slow down the enemy. So let's build this thing. So first of all, let me put this there. Let's see what I can do here. Well, since this cabin is big enough, I can put it either more backward or more forward. In this case, about there. Enough to protect the generator. So let's see. Building the frame first. So I'm gonna put more armor in the front. About that. Do the same on the back. This is a bit too wide, but again, we're gonna put a down of top in this. Enough stuff of armor and all that stuff. Basically, since the bots only gave for the cabin, I'm gonna put the engine over here. The old friend Woyabo. And perfect. 3 squares up. 6 squares. Right where I want it. Now, let me see if I can put some holograms on this. So what kind of holograms are you putting in this? sides. And go like this, you go like that. There. In the front. Well, I don't think I'm gonna put this one. It's gonna look kinda cool. By the way, I like it to go a bit way down. Okay, this one is going nicely. No. I'm gonna put one down here. Or up here. Let me see. Yeah, this setup is better. Now it's time to armor that up. First of all, in the front I'm gonna put some heavy armor. Since most of the attacks on me gonna be mostly, Oh, interesting. Since most attacks on me gonna be either explosion or hit damage from the front, might as well take some good resistance. In this case, explosive hit and damage and energy resistance. Now 3 here. Not gonna cut it. Where's the sticks? Here they are. Slabs.
Steel to steel, bone to bone. Just don't
Slabs
have
and
ritual for a long service life.
One of them stays exposed. And we need a lot of parts with 342. 342, 102. Or by 1. I think it's by 1. Some APCs over here. Some mid-damage stuff on the front. Let me see. What can we put? Very big plow. Only pins on the back. Nope. More interesting. this one is very interesting. Let me try something. Well, it works. Where's the other thing? Here it is. What's the name of it? Excavate. Kind of interesting, not gonna lie. %, 20%.
What are you naming the car? Just please, not Timothy.
Aí já chamaram o carro de Timóteo. Tá certo. just like I feel. That doesn't work. It's too high. So 4 by 3. Not a lot of parts here. Now over here. I think we have the perfect part for there. No, not this one.
Lunatics say you should spit on every part you place. Thoughts?
No, not gonna work like that. Houston, we have a problem.
I remember slapping anti-aircraft guns onto cars with the Polisario guys. Wait, no, that's not my memory. Whoops.
That's why it looks so very high. Huh? Why? the problem is the sides now. And not a lot of points to connect. Other side. And there's another problem. Parts limits. Thought you're gonna have tonnage problems or maybe some mass problems, but seems not. Now, main issue is over here. Not a lot of protection on the sides. It's gonna looks like a bit shitty build, but can't do much about it. Way more interesting.
Hey, do parts glow orange for you too, or are my sensors glitching? saying nobody wants to work in manufacturing. Guess that's flipped now, huh?
Alright, let's see what Kodraru can we put here. No? Not. Well, I'm not gonna be chasing anyone, so it's a waste of time. The passive skills don't really benefit me anyway. Well, this one, let's try it. Ah, also I can put better armor on the back. Since I weigh way maroon with the energy mass. Yeah, not gonna do this one. Doesn't count for the its invisibility. No, also no. Not gonna use any drones. Yes, this one. I'm not gonna use any raiders, so this one will do. I will know. I will want the better speed one, but there's no one. Okay. It's kind of slow. That's the thing with this game. Like, why a heavy cab that does loads of torque can't accelerate a bit more? Doesn't make any sense. And yet you have very light cabins with tons of speed but not much power, and yet they are fast. They are faster to accelerate. Well, to put a bit more of armor. Since I can, why not? Yeah. Big hefty part over here. And who knows? Who knows? It can handle it. Now this. Let me see if this is. How many I got? 3. can use the bumper. It's
Oh, that part fit just like in the manual. No idea who wrote it though.
well, it's Tinder, I think. Yep, not gonna work this like this. Okay. Still got some margin for something. Very on the limit. Well, still got some room, so let's do something out the back. Oh, okay, okay. Exit that. 175. Okay, again, part limit. Where's that? There it is. That's very on the limit.
vehicles on Lego and Soviet construction sets.
Really? For 7? Well, I think that's a wrap. Let's see if oh, no, I forgot. Dang it. I forgot the most important thing of all, a flock. Yeah, that's kinda messed up a bit. Put it way down. Like, wait this. You could have 2 rows of 4 pins, but no. You have to make it weird. Now that I think of it, this PvP will be a bit too easy. Excuse me for that. Now, what we're gonna call this? It has to have a name. Yeah. Cryoshock, why not? Well, I think this will work out.